Hi, welcome back to Steadfast Practice of Intention Setting, Mobility, and a Meditative State. You'll need about 30 minutes, a yoga mat, and I suggest having a bolster or a pillow for the practice. We'll start in a period of intention setting for about 5 minutes, and it will be an active pose because there will be palms above the head. The intention can be new or it can be existing. Bring some movement for the mobility portion, starting with Sufi grind, bringing the heart towards the front of the space and making circles with the torso. And the back body reaches towards the back of the space. Take some stillness before going in the opposite direction of Sufi grind. And a bit of stillness. Finding an all fours position, table pose, or cat-cow spinal flexation. So if you have a prop, it can be under the knees, or maybe even underneath of the tops of the feet. That's where I'm placing mine. And just take a few rounds of spine in concave and convex. Opening up underneath of the hips. Find a lizard pose on one side. So it's like a low lunge, but the foot is a bit further from the body. Not farther in front, but farther to the side. And elongate the spine in this pose by tucking the chin. Bring some movement if needed, or just enjoy the stillness of the opening. And for a few rounds, opening up towards the side of the front leg and closing. Repeating several times. It should feel like an opening in the front of the chest. And prioritize that the top of the spine is an extension of a long line. Neutral table. Come to extended child's pose. That is with the knees out wide. Let the forehead rest on the palms for a breath. Return to table. Lizard pose, second side. Finding the stretch before taking any movement. As always, adjust throughout the practice or modify as needed. And then if you'd like, start the opening towards the side of the front leg, closing and repeating that motion. micro bend in the supporting arm. To lizard, palms planted, to extended balasana or child's pose. Return to table, all fours. Tucking the toes, lifting the knees and the hips for downward facing dog, and then immediately find a standing forward fold. Come to a standing mountain pose. We'll stretch the hamstrings a bit with a warrior pose or a high lunge. Holding for about 30 seconds. A bit more engagement, add the palms above the head. To neutral mountain. In between this first side and the second, let's find a Malasana yogic squat by sinking the hips between the knees, between the heels. Can use the biceps to open up through the hips by pressing the area that's at the elbow. With the inner thigh. Lift the hips back upright to mountain. Second side, stretch for the body in a high lunge or another variation. About 30 seconds. Mountain. Another round of squat. Release the glutes. And prioritize the length in the spine. Find a seat, maybe on the support if you brought a prop. The next exercise is for the arms, and it's really just for as much mobility or sensation as needed. So I'll explain the process and then find a pace that works well. Bringing the palms out in front. Lift one of the palms up above the head and open towards that side of the body, meaning that side of the torso starts to face that side of the room as the palm moves backwards. So it's like drawing a circle with that palm or that arm. That palm will make a complete circle by meeting up with the original palm that is out in front. And then repeat on the second side. Lifting the palm, opening up towards that side of the body. The palm draws its circle. And then meets back out front and center. And so what I mean by finding a pace that works well is that it can be as restorative or as active as needed. And in this pose, prioritize again, not only the intention, but the length of a vertical spine. From crown to tailbone. Yawning is a really good sign that the body and the mind are finding a state of safety, The next couple of rounds, let's meet in a few breaths at the front and center with the palms out forward. And to table we go. All fours. We're going to repeat the lizard pose on each side. So we'll start with side one. In lizard, prioritizing the spine. And optional to open and close towards the side of the front leg. Repeat and or hold. Next time in lizard, prepare for extended child's pose. And that's where we'll meet. Take 1 or 2 breaths with the palms out forward, forehead resting. Return to table. Second side of a lizard. Get acquainted with the pose and then add variations to advance the pose, to relax deeper or accentuate the stretch. And next time in lizard, prepare for extended child's pose. A couple of breaths. Upright, the final pose of mobility segment of steadfast is going to be mountain with the palms above the head. So it's a little bit active, yet grounding in nature, especially if the shoes are off. Holding for about 60 seconds. Lift the corners of the mouth. Relax the shoulders from the ears. Come to meditative state, maybe on the support if you brought one. Otherwise, just resting in a comfortable seat or pose where we can sit for about 5 minutes. Mostly with intention, but however serves, meaning that if it's best to just be with the breath or clear the thoughts, that's great too. You can be active. Palms can be above the head. You can just be resting. We'll cue us back to pose practice in 4 or so minutes. Coming back from the meditative state. Thank you so much for practicing steadfast today. Intention setting, mobility, and meditative state. I hope to practice with you again. Namaste.